Hey, what's up, High Level Gaming? It's Snorlax891, and this is my brand new series, which I'm calling Gamer Gab. In this brand new series, I will be discussing gaming issues of the world. Well, I guess gaming issues of the gaming world, really. How they affect me, how they might affect you, and that kind of stuff. And in this first episode, we will be discussing the Xbox One. When Microsoft first announced the release, first announced the Xbox One, some crazy requirements came along with this new system. First of all, the constant internet connection. If you had an Xbox One, every 24 hours the Xbox One would check in to see if it was connected to the internet. And if it was not connected to the internet, you had 1 hour, count it, 1, to play any of your games offline, be they multiplayer or single player. 1 hour, that's it. Secondly, used games, playing used games, sharing games, and selling games, used games in particular, was crazy. If you wanted to share a game with somebody, they had to have been on your friends list for more than 30 days in order to share the game successfully. Now, if your friend wanted to keep that game, they would possibly have to pay a fee to the developers. Microsoft passed the blame onto the developers on this one, because when you put a system like that in place that requires a person to not only purchase a game, but then purchase a game a second time if this game is a used game in order to actually play it on their Xbox, because essentially that's what Microsoft was doing. If you wanted to play a used game, you would have to not only have to buy the game, but you would also have to pay a fee, possibly, depending on the developer, according to Microsoft, in order to actually activate that game on your Xbox One, which is completely ridiculous, because essentially you're paying for the same game twice. Another issue that you would have run into with the Xbox One would be that Microsoft was requiring games to be installed to the Xbox One's hard drive. So you're essentially turning the Xbox One into a computer with an Xbox controller. So what that would do is, in order to play your game, you would have to buy your game, install it to the hard drive of the Xbox One, and your Xbox One would only be able to hold a limited number of games. So with some people buy, a lot of games for their consoles, so that hard drive, I imagine, would fill up pretty quickly. So what's the good news in all of this? Recently, Microsoft announced some major changes to the Xbox One system. They're doing away with many of the issues that I mentioned earlier. Xbox One will now no longer have to be connected to the internet 24/7. It will no longer check in every 24 hours to confirm this internet connection, and you can now play your single player and multiplayer, well, I guess it would mostly be your single player games, but you can now play your single player games offline for as long as you want on your home console. There are also no more restrictions to buying and selling used games. Buying and selling used games will now work as it always has, with no fees to the publishers and no fees to Microsoft. All you do is buy the game as you normally would, and you can just play it, which is great. Also, the last thing I wanted to talk about, you will no longer have to install your disc-based games onto the Xbox One's hard drive. It'll now work just like the Xbox 360 did, which is you buy your game, you put it in, and you play. And it'll save your progress on the hard drive, but you no longer have to install it. So essentially it took the Xbox and it made it a console again, which is wonderful. Unfortunately, Microsoft still has not implemented backwards compatibility, which means the Xbox One still cannot play Xbox 360 games, which is disappointing, but overall I feel that Microsoft has done the right thing here. They've put themselves back on a competitive footing along with Sony, and I feel like they've redeemed themselves in the eyes of a lot of their fans as well. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Post your opinions. Let me know what you think of GamerGab. Let me know what you think of the Xbox One. Are you an Xbox fan that was considering going over to PlayStation from now on? Are you a PlayStation fan that might be considering switching to Xbox now? So again, post your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed. Share it with your friends, favorite. It really helps me out. And stay tuned for the next episode of GamerGab, where I will be discussing another issue. So thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you later.